Del Evangelio según San Juan. Jesús, sabiendo que el Padre había puesto todas las cosas en sus manos y que de Dios había salido y a Dios volvía, se levantó de la mesa y se quitó su manto, y tomando una toalla se la ciñó. Luego echó agua en una vasija y comenzó a lavar los pies de los discípulos y a secárselos con la toalla que tenía ceñida. Hermanas, es palabra de Dios.
Te alabamos, Señor.
Jesus knowing. The Gospel begins with a verb that reveals what is in the mind and in the heart of Jesus. Knowing is a participial verb which expresses the result of something that has been experienced. It is not a knowledge that comes from something that he just read or heard. It is a knowledge that comes from a deep connection with his life and his mission, a result of contemplation. John introduces a Jesus deeply connected with his origin. He knows that he had come from God. A Jesus conscious of the meaning of his life. He knows that God had put all things into his hands. A Jesus aware of his destiny. He knows that he was returning to God. And returning in a violent way, without seeing the fruit that he planted, and probably not as successful as he expected. Jesus knows all of this. His heart and mind was charged with all of that during the Last Supper. What follows, however, are verbs of motions, very specific and powerful verbs, and most of them in the present tense. He rises. He takes off his cloak. He took a towel and wrapped it around his waist. He pours water. He began to wash and dry. John is recalling Jesus' actions, inviting the Johannine community to continue these actions. They have to be present. He rises. This verb in Greek is a verb used to express resurrection, vigilance, arousal from sleep, in the midst of a context of a dread, during a dinner in which death is imminent, in a context of in an atmosphere of uncertainty among the disciples. Is he going to escape? Will he stubbornly continue with his mission? In such an environment, Jesus takes the initiative to get up and lift up his own spirit. He does not take the road of sadness, denial, or resignation. Jesus rises, and in this way, he rises up his friends. Then he laid down his cloak. He put aside, set aside. This verb is also used in a passive form to speak of the body of Jesus laid in the tomb. Jesus lay aside. What did he lay aside? He laid aside his cloak, the symbol of his status, the clear sign that he was the master, a free and educated man. servants and slaves did not wear a cloak. The cloak distinguished Pharisees from ordinary Jews. By the cloak, people could judge who a person was. Jesus put aside his cloak, approached his disciples in a different way. In that moment, in which he is expected to receive love, to receive compassion, encouragement, he chooses to rise and give himself to his disciples. He took the towel and wrapped it around his waist. He poured water into a basin. No one forced him to take the towel. He takes it. Like a slave responsible for hospitality and comfort of the guest of his honor, Jesus communicates love and comfort to his Father's children. Moved by love, he decides to change the cloak for the towel. And finally, he began to wash their feet and dry them with the towel. And these verbs are expressed in present, imply beginning and continuity. Jesus began, the community must continue. Aren't these verbs powerful? All of these details remained in the memory of the disciples and they were recorded. That moment was powerful. My sisters, our chapters, our assemblies are also powerful experiences. I'm sure that this morning we all go through similar feelings to that of Jesus or the friends of Jesus seated around the table. Some of us probably experience the warm water being poured on us through the words or the hugs of our sisters. Probably we experience a gentle towel that is wiping away our tears. Some of us probably experience the challenge to lay down some things, to lay down our clothes and take the towel. On this last day of meeting, I believe the gospel invites us to reflect together on these powerful verbs. What is in my mind and heart at this moment? Of what am I conscious now? What are the new insights that I gained during this weekend? And a second step must follow. What is the direction that my daily life is going to take from now on? It may be that in our daily life, because of the demands of our jobs, because of the speed in which things are going, because of the amount of work that we have, we can forget all that we have experienced here. The feelings, visions, ideals, and hopes shared here need to continue and lead us to concrete responses, personally and communally. They must be materialized in processes of discernment, in gestures that for sure say more than beautiful speeches. It is curious that after the event of the washing of the feet, there follows a long speech in the gospel that goes for at least 4 chapters. I am sure, and I'm inside too, none of us remember all the speech. But this concrete gesture has been in the memory of generations and still very powerful. Thus, our intentional actions, our love made concrete, our capacity to rise in the midst of death, and awaken hope around us, that is what is going to remember. to remain in the memory of our people in the ministry and in the mind of our sisters. We are sent by the gospel today to do it. Amen.